6 miles west of Cairo, Egypt, the Sphinx lays among the pyramids of Giza in an area known in ancient times as the seat of power to the pharaohs. Today it is known as the Giza Plateau. Most commonly thought to be built during the 4th dynasty by King Khafre, it was designed to mark the position of the rising and setting sun during the time of the spring and fall equinox. Part of a vast cosmic building project, it was designed for the sun god and to ensure the king's place in the afterlife. Over time, the purpose of the Sphinx changed, specifically with the death of Khafre. As was custom in those days, they established cults so that when they died, they would not be forgotten. Being forgotten was looked on as the worst thing that could happen, especially for a king. So before his death, Khafre organized a group of priests who would keep his name alive through religious ceremonies and offerings to the gods. The cult of Khafre lasted for hundreds of years, often bringing people to the Sphinx from faraway places. The Great Sphinx's dream stele tells of a young Prince Thutmose and a dream he had where the Sphinx spoke to him, promising to make him king in exchange for clearing its body from the sand. Thutmose did so and became king after the untimely death of his heir to the throne older brother. By placing the story on a tablet between the paws of the Sphinx, scholars believe Thutmose intended to change the significance of the Sphinx to that of a political one during his reign. Over the many centuries of its lifetime, air pollution, blowing sand, wind, and water have all taken their toll on this magnificent structure. The condition of the head is in much better shape than the body. The headdress and the face are smooth, while the body is worn by erosion. Because of this, some theories suggest that the head of the Sphinx was reshaped to resemble the pharaoh after it was originally created in the shape of a lion's head. The nose is missing, and this is yet another mystery concerning the ancient wonder. There are legends that tell of Napoleon Bonaparte's army shooting it with a cannonball. However, a sketch drawn in 1737 by Frederick Norton shows the nose missing before Napoleon was ever in Egypt. In the 15th century, an Egyptian Arab historian wrote about a Sunni Muslim who destroyed the nose after he saw Egyptian peasants worshipping the Sphinx, hoping to increase their harvest. This fact, however, is still debatable. When ancient necropolis was abandoned, the Sphinx was left unattended, and blowing sand covered it to its shoulders. In 14 BC, Thutmose IV had the paws excavated and the dream stele placed. Around 1200 BC, Ramses II took on another attempt. In 1817, a dig led by Giovanni Caviglia uncovered its chest completely. In 1936, the entire Sphinx was excavated by a crew led by Emile Barras. In the 1980s, more than 2,000 limestone blocks were added to the Sphinx, and chemicals were injected with the hope of protecting the piece from further degeneration. Later, in 1988, the left shoulder crumbled and some of the blocks fell off and were then removed from the site. Because it is on the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization's World Heritage List, maintenance is funded and future restoration attempts are being handled by the SCA. Today, the Great Sphinx is one of Egypt's most visited monuments, and tourism is flourishing. The Sphinx is a monumental sculpture and the oldest known in the world. Measuring 240 feet long and 66 feet high, it depicts a lion with the head of a human king. The most significant detail of this stone structure is that it was carved from one single piece of limestone. In addition to that, it was carved from the top down. The giant statue was carved from bedrock. These enormous blocks of stone, each weighing tons, were taken from around the sculpture and then moved to build the temple in front and the temple to the south. Theory suggests that the project was built by hundreds of slaves. However, little is known to how this work was actually performed. Today, the Great Sphinx of Giza stands as a monumental reminder of ancient Egypt kingship. As the national symbol of Egypt, it continues to be the center point of attraction and curiosity due to the mystery of its age, its purpose, and the secrets it holds.